Welcome to the Business of Apparel podcast. This is the place to learn how to start and scale your own apparel brand and fill it with loyal customers for years to come. I'm your host, Rachel Erickson, owner and CEO of Unmarked Street, and I can't wait to share this episode with you. Welcome back to the Business of Apparel podcast, where today we're going to talk a little bit about social media. And in particular, we're going to talk about TikTok. And this is basically an extension of a conversation that we recently had in one of our office hour sessions with our annual members. If you're interested in becoming an annual member, joining the board, that's what our annual membership is called. It's not like an actual board position. We had someone reach out to us recently and say, what does it pay to be on the board? And I was like, no, that's the name of our annual membership. Sorry if that was confusing, but if you are interested in joining the Business of Apparel board, we are absolutely taking new members right now. We would love to have you. If this conversation intrigues you and you would like to have it live with other members and with me and my entire team and so many other kinds of conversations that we have, this is just a really good example of some things that we tend to get into in our weekly 1-hour sessions where we kind of hot seat coach and ask a lot of questions and make sure everybody gets the answers that they need. So last week we were talking a little bit about social media, and someone kind of asked, do I need to get myself on TikTok? And I've been through many, many different coaching programs, and I think some of the best advice that I've really been given about social media is that you need to do what's sustainable for you so that you can be consistent. Consistency is the name of the game when it comes to social media, regardless of which platform that you're on. And so there's a little bit of a big question here. And this is one of those infuriating answers. And I give this answer a lot, but it depends. We are seeing a lot of different product-based businesses have success over on TikTok. And so we put our minds together and we did a teeny bit of research to make sure that we were answering this board member's question appropriately and making sure she got the answers that she needed. And so there is absolutely merit in getting yourself on TikTok if it feels like it is the right platform for you. We're noticing over there, and you might already know this, but I'm not an expert in TikTok, so we had to go do some research to be able to answer some questions. We are not on TikTok as a brand. And so again, I'm not an expert in everything that gets asked of me, but one of our huge superpowers here at the Business of Apparel is that we have such a great network and we're really able to reach out to people and ask a lot of questions. So I did reach out to a friend of mine who is having a ton of success over on TikTok, especially when it comes to getting partnerships and starting to see sales come through the actual application itself. And a little bit of advice that she ended up kind of saying, tell your audience this, tell your members this. If you are posting over on TikTok, number one, like I said already, consistency is everything. So we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But she was also saying that, short form videos are obviously going to be the best over on TikTok. If you've got something that's like 7 seconds or less, it kind of forces people to watch and rewatch the little video. And so it gets your engagement up. It makes the algorithm think that people like it a little bit more. It's not super different from Instagram. Instagram's algorithm kind of does the same thing where if you get more watches and if it's repeating, that can definitely be something that will boost your algorithm. So recording something short that can loop easily is definitely the way to go. But again, the answer is going to be that it depends on what's right for you and your business. I know I've talked to a lot of different people, and I'm going to say that I'm kind of in this camp that TikTok has just had a lot of drama around it, right? Like earlier this year, we thought it was going to get shut down by the government, and then it was back, and then things changed, and it just feels like it's a little bit all over the place. And as a business owner, I'm not going to lie, I just don't need that anxiety in my life. I don't need anything in my life that, if I've posted every single day for 5 years and I've got all this content out there, I'm relying on this income to come in through this application, and all of a sudden it gets shut down and I can't count on that anymore as a business owner. That's a problem for me. So for me, just the drama of it and, the kind of security issues that have been discussed about TikTok is just, it just makes it not for me. Like, it's just not something that I want to touch. And so there are a lot of people out there who are steering clear of TikTok for that reason. One of my business coaches is really leaning into different apps and different social media and is also steering clear from TikTok. And so when I hear things like that coming from her, it kind of makes me feel like maybe I'm on the right path, because she tends to have her ear to the ground really, really well when it comes to business and all of this kind of stuff. But again, a lot of people are having a ton of success over there. So it's something that you need to explore on your own. You need to decide if like short form video is something that you want to create, if you can create, if you can keep up with it. Now, I keep mentioning consistency. Okay. So consistency, again, it's the name of the game on every single social media platform. If I've learned anything about being on social media, it is that the algorithm likes it if you are consistent. And so what you need to do is figure out what kind of social media plan inside your business makes sense for you. So if you can be on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and Snapchat and you name it, if you can be on all the different things and remain consistent every single week or every single day, then that might be a great plan for you. Not many of us are able to stay on top of all of those different platforms with great consistency and with great content unless we're able to hire massive marketing and social media teams. So for example, I'll use myself as another example here. For a while, we were really trying to get our information out, our content out on a bunch of different platforms. Pinterest, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, YouTube, you name it. We were trying to do it. Like I said, we did not really dabble in TikTok, but by time that social media platform kind of came out and was starting to get really, really popular, it was something that I just knew I couldn't add to my plate. And I will say I use a scheduling app. So I schedule all of our content through later.com. I have an account on there, which is really, really easy. It helps me to take one piece of content, I pull it into Later, I put it into the calendar, I write my caption, and then it just prompts me to zhuzh it and change it for every single different platform. So I basically uploaded it once into Later. I've done all the different things that I need to do, and then it blasts it out to a bunch of different social media platforms for me on the scheduled time and day that I've scheduled it for. Are you sick of being stuck on the sidelines of the apparel industry and you just want to be put in the game? Then join our 100% free workshop, Secrets Behind Billion-Dollar Apparel Brands, and learn the strategies, tactics, and secrets used by the most successful companies in the world. We'll cover everything from setting your brand standards to big brand line planning and executive level processes. In this workshop, you're going to learn how to name your target customer, rationalize your line, calculate product margins, roll up your revenue, and see potential profits while figuring out how to build a unique calendar for your brand. You're going to learn that and so much more. Are you ready to take your apparel business to the next level? Sign up today and use code PODCAST for a 10% discount on the full Business of Apparel online course or any of our mini courses after the workshop. Visit www.thebusinessofapparel.com/secrets to register. Don't miss out. So that can be one way where you can get reach in many different places, but you should probably also understand that every single platform prefers content to be done in a slightly different way. So I will be the first to admit, like when we're blasting out content and it's a 30-second or 45-second vertical video that goes up on ideally Instagram, right? That's where it's ideally meant to perform. When I post that on LinkedIn and Pinterest and Facebook and YouTube, there is a chance that that piece of content could have been optimized better. For example, Facebook sometimes does better with horizontal things, but instead of recording it twice and trying to figure out how to do vertical and horizontal, we're just repurposing the same content in many different places. LinkedIn right now is actually devaluing videos. And this is changing all the time. So if you're listening to this a couple years from now, you might find that this information is actually changed quite a bit. But in this moment, day of recording, LinkedIn is kind of saying, we're not going to put a whole bunch of support behind video anymore, even though for the last 6 months, we really, really were. And so when I put that reel out and it shows up on LinkedIn, I'm not actually getting the same kind of reach that I would have gotten maybe 3 months ago because LinkedIn is changing its algorithm. Same with like YouTube shorts. Like sometimes they need to be a little bit different than what I post on Instagram. And again, if you're posting a 45-second reel on Instagram, that might be too long if you're deciding to post on TikTok. So when you're doing that kind of like blast out, if you're using a scheduler in the same way that I am, I just want you to know right now, like number one, it saves me time. So that is why I do it, because it allows me to have a little bit more reach, but it does save me time for having to go natively post on all of those different platforms. And we'll talk about native posting here in just a second. But it is at the cost of me not having primed content on every single platform. Now, if you do have the time to go natively post on, and when I say that, I mean like go on Instagram and post your thing on Instagram, record a reel, get it done, add your captions, add whatever you need, and then actually post it on Instagram. Do the same on Facebook, like go to Facebook, schedule a post, upload your image, do the thing. That's natively posting. You're going into the actual application itself, the actual social media platform itself, and you're uploading. You're not using a scheduler. You're taking time inside every single platform to actually do the thing that you're trying to do that day. And the best case scenario there too is if you stay on that platform for a little while and try to engage with your ideal customer, you leave some comments, you like a few things. Those are the kinds of things that will also boost your algorithm. So if it were like an ideal day and you had a few different platforms that you were really, really honing in on, for example, we really hone in on Instagram and LinkedIn. Here at the Business of Apparel. YouTube is obviously the third one. So we have 3 key platforms that we post on very, very consistently. We post on Instagram every single day. We post on LinkedIn every single day. And we post on YouTube every single day. We have a schedule for it. And I have a team who does help me with YouTube. And I have people who help me with LinkedIn and Instagram. So I'm not doing this all on my own, at least not at the moment. I have done this all on my own in the past. But natively posting would look like, me utilizing my team to do YouTube, and they're natively posting inside YouTube, which we are actually doing. And then me going over to Instagram every single day and natively posting inside the Instagram app on my phone until that piece is up and it gets posted. While I'm in Instagram, I'm probably going to like some things. I'm going to comment on some things. I'm going to DM some people. I'm going to answer the DMs that are coming in. I'm going to take all of that time to be in the platform so that the algorithm gets happy. I would then go over to LinkedIn and do the same thing over there. And I will tell you that doing that takes a lot of time. And it is the right thing to do if you have the time to do it so that you can boost all of your algorithms, you can boost all of your engagement, and you can boost all of the different eyes that are going to be coming at you for content. However, as a busy business owner, it is absolutely acceptable for you to figure out how to make it work for yourself. And so when I say consistency, again, if you are, let's say I really want to go in, I want to start natively posting inside the platforms that are very, very important to me. I'm going to go on TikTok, I'm going to go on Instagram, and I'm going to go on X every single day. Maybe that's your plan. What you want to do is set up a schedule that is doable for you. So if that takes you 3 hours every day, an hour on each platform to fully get the immersive, engaged experience with your community, then that means that you're going to need to spend 3 hours every single day that you're doing it. Do you have that in your schedule? Can you manage 3 hours every single day to be managing your own marketing, going into social media, and boosting your algorithm? If the answer is no, then you need to change your plan so that you can remain consistent. That is the key. So maybe now I'm not going into every single platform every single day. Maybe I'm like switching it up. So on Mondays, I do TikTok. On Tuesdays, I do Instagram. And on Wednesdays, I do X. And so maybe those are the 3 different platforms that I'm going to be on, but I'm not going to do each of them every single day. But because I've set a schedule for myself, now every Monday I'm on Instagram. Every Tuesday every Monday I'm on TikTok. Every Tuesday I'm on Instagram. Every Wednesday I'm on X. And that consistency is also more important than just being sporadic and throwing spaghetti at the wall. If it's even just once or twice a week, as long as it's consistent and your audience can start to predict when you're going to be posting, that becomes what is most important. So again, this infuriating answer of it depends. It depends on what you want to accomplish with your brand. If you are really, really trying to reach Gen Z and that is your target customer, it is probably worth your time to go explore whether you should be on TikTok. It is probably the platform for you to be on if that is your target customer. If that is not your target customer and your target customer is, let's say, in their 50s or 60s, Facebook might be your premium prime social media platform to actually go to, because there's a lot more people of that demographic who are checking Facebook on a regular basis. Understanding some of that stuff of like where your audience is and where they'll be able to find you best is all going to come down to first building out that target consumer profile that is so important. And it's one of the very first things that we do with each of our annual members who comes into our course, comes into our membership, becomes a member of our board, whatever it is. We always tell them that rewriting or first time writing your target consumer profile is going to be so important for you, because if you don't have that defined, you don't even know what the next steps are for your business. You don't know what product to make. You don't know what social media platform to use. You don't know who you're speaking to in your marketing. If you don't have that figured out, I really, really encourage you to define that person and name them. You want to be able to see them in your mind so that when you're making every single decision for your business, you know who you're talking to. I am sitting here right now thinking about you. I am thinking about you every single time I sit down to record this podcast because I have that picture of you in my mind. I know that you are my target consumer. And so I definitely want to make sure that I am curating content and I am helping you figure out how to grow and scale your apparel brand. So this was very, very reminiscent of the conversation that we had in our office hours session the other day. And I do end up giving that answer a lot. I will say when we're in office hours and people are asking us questions, I tend to say a lot, it depends. It depends on what you want for your brand. It depends on what works best for you. But then we talk through it like this. We talk through all the different scenarios. And if you're live in the room with us, you are able to then give us what your scenario is. I think I can really only do this for an hour a day. What do you think I should do? Now we're really jamming. Now we're talking about whether something is important for you to get into, or should you make a different plan? And those are the kinds of things that will help you move forward faster and faster. Like today, I have a little nugget of a plan. I know what I need to do this next week. And then next week, I'll come to office hours again, get the next piece of the plan. And we're slowly curating this huge plan and executing it so much faster than you would on your own through trial and error and trying to just figure out the answers on your own. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about our annual membership, which we call the Business of Apparel Board, I would love for you to go to thebusinessofapparel.com/secrets, where you can sign up for our brand new masterclass workshop. We are pricing it at $47, which is already like a freaking steal to learn everything that you're going to learn in that class. We're actually going to be giving you a gift in the class that is worth $100. The masterclass is usually $47. Right now, it's on sale for just $17. So if you have $17 in your account, you can come learn the 3 biggest mistakes that every single apparel brand, when they start out, pretty much makes. I don't think we've yet met a brand owner who isn't making these mistakes right out the gate. And so we're going to help you see them and make sure that you don't make those mistakes on your brand. And then I'm going to give you my 3-step framework on how to actually behave like the billion-dollar brands in the business, right? Like I have worked at those brands for 20 years of my career, and now I'm passing on their secrets to you because I'll tell you what, they are not revealing those secrets to anybody, even to each other. They don't want to benchmark with each other. They don't want to share processes. They don't want to share information. And so me coming out of that and sharing that information to you is my mission. That's what I want you to have. I want you to have the information that nobody else wants you to have. It's bonkers to me that we are not helping other brands succeed. So go to thebusinessofapparel.com/secrets, sign up for our workshop today, and it will also give you a lot more information on joining the board. We have a Q&A at the end, and if you decide to sign up, there's actually a really, really special good bonus in there for you too. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any other questions on social media and you'd like for me to address them on a future episode, please put comments below if you're watching here on YouTube, or you can reach out to us anytime by going to hello@unmarkedstreet.com. I actually answer all of those emails directly, so you'll get right to me by emailing me at hello@unmarkedstreet.com. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks so much for being here with me today. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Business of Apparel podcast. I would so appreciate hearing your thoughts on the show. And if you know someone who could benefit from it, please share it with them. My biggest desire is to help other apparel professionals understand the nuances of our industry so we can all work toward making better product for a better world. If you would like to connect further, I'd love to invite you to send me a message through my website, thebusinessofapparel.com, where I do weekly trainings through my YouTube video channel, a weekly newsletter, blog articles, and so many more resources to help you start and scale a profitable apparel brand. This podcast is produced by Box 7 Media, who I cannot speak highly enough of. If you're looking to start your own podcast, you can reach out to Jeremy at Box 7 Media on LinkedIn anytime.